Folks, it's the earthquake and pillars shaking, meat popping, jaw dropping, Big Trouble Ben Bishop, and you are listening to Now Entering the Ring.
Yeah, when the sun goes down, i.e. Nick Dog.
Well, by now, if you're listening to this intro, this means one thing. This is Now Entering the Ring 201. And what does that mean? Well, it's pretty simple. It means that we've had guests on here before and we're bringing them back. But I am your Sherpa, Clifford Red Dog Miller, the man that leads you up that mountain. And it's never about me, it's about who's entering the ring. So who's entering the ring? He is the earthquake and pillar shaking, the leader of the Meat Pop Express. No, he's not corporate, but he's always about the business. Standing at 6'12", 15% of a metric ton, he is Big Trouble Ben Bishop.
Ooh, it's good to be back entering the ring. Again, a long 4 years later, but
It is,
you know what? Time is just a number, ain't it?
It is 100%. It is so crazy to think that it's been 4 years. You are our first guest on Now Entering, which is like mad.
Was I really? I was the
You
first?
really were. Yeah.
Oh, when you said the first episode, I thought it was just with me, but I did not know that. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
You were our first guest, and it was like, because it was you, and then it was Sicken, and then there was a slew of names of people after that. And now Entering like itself is just, it's getting ready to hit episode 420. So it's just.
So you got to have either Riddle or RVD, or who you gonna have on 420?
Episode 420. For you guys who want to know, and you guys will probably see this in a couple weeks. So episode 420 probably have already come out. Ruckus.
Oh, okay, there you go. I can't believe I didn't say. All right, that's perfect. Now he's the original. Okay,
he's the OG. Like we have to keep it that way.
Yeah,
no, it has been so crazy because like we were talking about beforehand, right? Like you actually had started probably about 6 to 8 months before me in Maryland.
Yeah, probably closer to 5 or 6, I think. Yeah, because when did you officially start? Was it January?
Yeah, it was January.
Yeah, so about 5 months.
Yeah, and I remember like being at the first show where they ACW had put the tag titles on you and Michael Zamidio, and I just remember like you had a whole bunch of family come down to see you, and like they were rambunctious when they knew you were coming out.
It was great, dude. Like talk about like your first show and like having 750 people there, and me thinking like, oh, all indies must be like this, just like, and having all friends and family, show up because you know how it is, dude. Like. They'll come to 1 or 2 shows every now and then, and like they're never coming to all of them because they're just like, I saw the last one. Maybe I'll come in a few months. Me being like, oh, I'll sell 100 something tickets every night.
Yeah.
And then you start getting back down to earth when when you keep doing this shit for as long as we've been doing it.
Right, and it's been crazy too to think because like I just tapped my 5th year, heading into the 6th year, and it's been crazy to think about like the journey and just like all the lessons that I have learned. And obviously, like, I don't know, because they always talk about like the masters of crafts spend like over 10,000 hours on any given thing. And when I think about like where we have been, and then like the show has kind of helped me spin up too a lot because, grabbing different guests and talking to different people about different experiences in the business, like it's crazy to think about like how much is like actually out there that like, I feel like I'm still gaining like knowledge like every day from it.
Oh, of course. I think if anybody says like I know everything about professional wrestling, you're just talking to a liar, right? I think there's always stuff to learn and always things that are changing too. And we learn when at least for me, and I don't want to speak for you, but you learn one way, and now like you transition to right now, and it's like almost like certain things. It's like school. You learn things in school, but then you never use that. Right. Or like you got to change. It's like, when do we use the Pythagorean theorem? It's like things like that. And you just got to keep kind of evolving. Especially when I started, I'm thinking like, oh, look at him. So I'm tall and big, and easier to look at. Like, I'm going to get signed, right? I'm going to get signed. Oh, I'm at like, and I thought that like, it's not that easy. Like, and like I said before, like, oh yeah, indies, like I'll be able to, in a year, I'll be able to sell all these tickets and be a big name. No, it's not that easy. Like, it's just not. We all think, you got to get into this. You think one thing, and it just continues to change. So it's almost like we've only been in it for 10 years collectively. It's like, it feels like I'm grizzled as shit.
Well, I remember like Nick used to call me like his grizzled young greenie because like after like 6 or 7 months of like being at the training grounds, I'd be like just hammering down like, "Yo, we got to get these roles right. We got to get this right. We got
Well,
to get that right.
because
Why are you
you're
in
like
the ring
me.
post that way?"
Yeah, because you're like me. Because like we also have lived a life before this. We
Yes.
both started later, and we've had real life experiences. You definitely more than me being in the military. But I played college basketball, so we were both in situations where like we had to be at least somewhat close to perfect, right? Like so. Um, and then we go to you get into wrestling school, and I don't think I'm like pulling back curtains that much here, or like and I'm sure a lot of people would agree with me. You show up and you got some people there that should probably not even be that should never be there. I've never done anything athletic in their life, and they think I'm just going to pick up pro wrestling because I like it.
Yeah.
And and then you got to deal with that. And then guys like me and you, it's like we're pulling our hair out. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, I just want to get things done. I want to sit here, wait for this guy to figure out how to roll forward.
It was funny because I remember like I think it was like the first day that I started there, and I had talked about this. I've talked about this a few times, but first day I started, there was like I think there was like 5 or 6 kids there, and it was cool,
Yeah,
right? And I think you were also there too when I first started going. And then the following week, there was like 30 something kids. They're
yeah,
all coming right to come train, and then the next week, I think it was just you and me, like,
yeah.
and I was the only new kid, so I was like, all right, well, I guess this is how professional wrestling is gonna work because people just drop out like quick. And then I hear like more stories about that. I had who was it? Kaya McKenna was on the show,
Mhm.
and she had talked about a situation that happened where like they did the first day of training at like Black and Brave, and the next day they had a first day training session. The next day, one kid took one bump and left. He was like, "Nah, I'm good."
Oh
I
yeah.
was like, "Oh, you did all the training," and you were like, "Nah, I'm good."
No, yeah, dude. Like we um when I had my WWE tryout, dude, the guy behind me who was like a lineman at like Wake Forest or something showed up 15 minutes into the tryout, dude just walked out. Like he just got a paid 2-day vacation in Orlando. So he just walked out, went to the rental car, they got him and left. Went back to the hotel. Said, I'm done. I don't want to do this. I don't want to
That's
do any of this. So it's not for everybody, but people think, because of how smooth the people are on TV, and you watch it and you're like, oh, this ain't that bad. Then you get in the ring. I mean, we could both say I took my first bump. I was like, oh, I hit the ropes a few times at the beginning. I'm like, oh man, this this isn't easy. Like, but some of these guys show up and think like, oh yeah, it'll be fine. Then you start taking bumps and you're taking bumps and you're like, okay, this hurts. Shit hurts.
Yeah, and I have a lot of friends who still they ask me to this day when they find out that like I do pro wrestling or indie wrestling. I don't care, right? I wrestle.
Yeah.
Uh, but when they ask me, they're always like, "Hey, does it hurt?" I was like, "Yes, it
Yeah.
always hurts. It doesn't not hurt. It
You
always
just
hurts."
got you just become more used to it, you know? Like, I hate that it's like, oh, you just become, it doesn't hurt after a while. No, it always hurts. It always I think Mick Foley always said that too. He's like, how do you it's like, "Oh, do you just not feel like, no, everything hurts.
Yeah.
Everything hurts. It all hurts." Like, it's not I just had to do it. And I think that's for us. It's like, yeah, you just gotta you gotta just take it. You become like it's like natural taking the bump,
Right,
and you're like, okay, I know what's coming, so it's not like a shock to the system, but it hurts.
right.
You're gonna feel it.
Or if you don't even if you like, let's take you take a month off and you get
Oh
back, you
yeah,
you
yeah.
always get nervous about that first bump because you're like, "Oh god, I don't want to do this."
Dude,
And then you take it.
I remember the first training, like, because that when COVID hit, like all of April, we didn't go to like
Right,
train at all. And then I remember in May, Nick was finally like, "Oh, let's, maybe if a few guys want to come, if you guys feel safe enough." And I'm like, I gotta get out of the house. Like, so I remember going and taking those first few bumps. Oh man, that was, oh, that hurt. I was sore as shit the next day.
yeah. I remember, like, hitting the mat and then, like, getting back up, and I was like, "Oh, man." I was like, "This is not good." And I remember, like, when I tore my abdomen, and I was out for, like, 12 weeks, I was like, "Alright, well, let me." I was nervous about it, and so, like, I would take, like, I would, like, squat pretty much to the ground and then just, like, fall backwards to kinda
Yeah.
mess up, like, thinking about it, and then finally I was just like, "Snap." I was like, "Alright, we're back. Let's go."
Yeah, you gotta just yeah, because you gotta go all for it, man. Because
Yeah,
I know, yeah, from injuries, you just once you start favoring it is when you're just gonna re-injure yourself,
yeah.
so
Yeah. But then we were together and then you moved to Atlanta, and so,
Mhm.
like, been watching you take on this incredible journey. For those who don't know, if you don't know who this man is, you have seen him. You know, he's got a signature pose on
You've
AEW.
probably seen me on a box on the internet like this big though.
It's crazy because I heard you say this in other interviews too, where like you knew like, hey, listen, this is like your third. I think it was like your third or fourth time on AEW, but you were like, you get
It was
this,
my third. Yeah, it was my
yeah,
third.
and you got this like small window of opportunity, and you're like, I had to do something, and
Mhm.
that was what you thought of, and I was like, that is a Ben move. That is a
Bro, I
Ben.
was in the I was in the bathroom 15 minutes before, and I'm like, "What do I do?" I could have done the, "Oh, look how tall I am," and flex, right? But, like, I'm not like, not some Adonis looking guy, like, the flex
Right,
isn't gonna be that impressive. So it's like, why don't I just yeah, I saw Joe Hendry turned around, right? All he did was turn around and people loved it. I'm like,
yeah,
maybe I could do something kinda close to it that will work. So I just thought of this. I always, like, did the point with 2, but
yeah,
then I was just like, "I'll just turn and go like this." And hopefully the timing will be right. And fortunately, it was. And I remember Jack Jameson, when I walked back through the curtain. He goes, "I don't know what that was, man. Like at all. Like, have you ever done that?" I'm like, "No." He's like, "But it was money. It looked so good." I'm like, "I know. I was on a whim. I didn't know what to do.
it was
Again, I wasn't gonna do like this or like that or like this or like. I'm like, I gotta do something else. And I'm already a goofy guy, so like, why don't you just go along with it?"
right.
And it was and it worked. It worked. That stupid pose worked.
Well, like, and now, and then you hit it the one time. Now it's got to be like the signature. Like it has to be done all
It
the time.
is. I'll do it all the time. Do it all the
Yeah,
time now. It's kind of the thing. It's like my thing, which is so funny because it's like things like that, like, and we'll get into I'm sure we'll get into the social media stuff, but like it's just stupid things like that, like Joe Hendry just turning around and smiling and look at this big smile on his face. Like that's what people remember. People don't remember like moves and shit. Like I've gotten to so many arguments with people about this, about like, dude, like people have said, like, are you a content creator or a wrestler? And I'm like, well, why can't you be both? Like,
yes,
why can't they? Because they go hand in hand. And
yeah,
like me sharing this and having that gift that I share that just zooms in on my face, I'm like, people share that more than they share me doing a fall away slam, for example.
right,
Because it's like it's fun. It's like something that they're gonna remember. And so
right.
like those little things, those moments. AJ Styles said it like not too long ago about moments matter over moves.
Yes.
And you create the moments and people got all mad at him. And
And
it's like
some dumbass person said, "I respectfully disagree with you." I was like, "How are you disrespecting
that's
me?
what yeah, like where
How
does
do
it
you
end?
argue with the goat?
When
Who
does
doesn't
it
know
end?
what it is?"
The guy that literally has been known, the guy that's influenced all the guys that do all the moves these days. He did every move in his
Yeah,
matches, and he still says it. That guy, the guy that's again influenced the whole generation of wrestlers, and they still disagree with
but
him.
they still disagree with it. Yeah, I
That's
thought it was crazy. I saw your post on that too, and I was like, "What?" So I brought it up on the podcast on our live debate show, and yeah, I was like, "Yo," I was like, "When is it enough? Like, when is it? It's never gonna be enough." I get it, right? When it comes to people who are sitting, like some people who are sitting on their mom's couch, on their or down in their mom's basement, or like in their bedroom, right, singly, just they've never been in, and they're like, "Yeah, no, I remember every match." Well, cool, I'm glad you do, but the average person remembers a move, bro. Like,
yeah.
name your favorite match, and you're probably gonna pick out a spot that you remember distinctly. And
Uh-huh.
like, chill out, bro. Just
Like,
chill out.
I can tell you one of my favorite matches ever was like, Austin, well, not all, I'm sorry, Rock Hogan at WrestleMania 18,
Right,
like that, like but I can't tell you exactly how the whole match went move for move, but like just the moment of them staring at each other and the people and the crowd and all that, like that's what you remember.
right.
You don't remember. Yeah, and you remember them shaking hands at the end. Like you remember the beginning, like the very beginning and the end. No one really remembers the moves because those guys didn't matter. It didn't matter that much because because of them, because their characters and their aura, their personas. That's what people cared. They didn't care what they were going to do. They could have to take a shit in the ring. People still would have cheered.
Right. Well, or I could name a move that happened in the match. Hogan hit a leg drop and Rock
Yeah,
kicked
yeah,
out.
rock out.
Like
Yeah,
that's it. Like I
yeah.
think about like my favorite match of all time is Eddie Guerrero and Rey Mysterio from '97 Halloween Havoc. I
Hmm.
mean, but the move that everybody talks about the most is a move that didn't even get a pop.
Yeah.
Like the man jumping off doing a backflip into a DDT didn't even get a pop. Like
Hmm.
And if
Mhm.
you don't believe me, go watch because fans didn't interpret it right away. They were just
No.
like, "Oh, that was cool."
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah, exactly. Then you watch it back like, "Holy shit, that really was cool."
yeah,
Um, and, like, nowadays, it would've been viral,
yeah.
that's a move that would've been viral. Um, but yeah, no, I mean, when it comes down to, when it comes down to that, when, like, the IWC, certain people again, I wanna preface it with this, it's not everyone. It's the loud minority of the IWC. Most of the people are very nice, they really are. Like, they get a bad rep, but it's like that,
Yep,
it's like that visceral, like, uh, 15 to 20% of the IWC that's really brutal. But it's never enough. It's never that they can't even agree with AJ. You can't even agree with AJ Styles. Like, come on, dude.
the
Come on.
GOAT.
Seriously. Like, what do you think guys like, and I mean, he revolutionized himself too and kept evolving, but like guys like, well, I'm sure Will Ospreay was watching AJ Styles. Like, but they all love him, but he's probably saying the same thing. That's the crazy thing. He's going to say the same thing.
Well, I think about, like, you look at guys like like Ray and then AJ, and then you look at Will and Ricochet, and those guys keep setting moments, but then look at a guy like, Orange Cassidy, right? Like,
Mhm.
the guy is a great worker, and when you look at his work and the way he moves in the ring, like, he's telling you the same exact story that those guys are telling you, and then people are like, "Well, he's not really over." Like, with you, this man literally puts his hands in his pockets and the whole crowd
He was
goes
he
off,
was
like,
he was like the most over person for in 20 like the latter half of 2019. I
yeah,
remember it was insane. Like he was and I think and then that piggybacks like Joe Hendry, gets
yep,
to that next guy who gets organically over like that. But Cassidy was the first one to really get that organically over with only being from the indies, really.
yep,
And just yeah, and then here's another guy. Like what do people remember with him? They remember him doing his shtick.
yep,
Like, they don't like yes, he can do everything in the ring. He's an amazing wrestler, amazing. But like, and he knows that he gets bigger pops for doing the kicks he does, puts in his hand in the pocket, doing the half-ass thumb pose.
yep,
Like it's that's what people remember and want to see. That's what they pop for.
mhm,
They do the thing. Have you ever seen this? You watch the Simpsons clip?
yes,
Do you remember when Bart got famous because he was on that show or something? He says, "I didn't do it." It was like the America's Funniest Home Video, and then
yeah,
like all the kids turn around in the class, like, "Do the thing, do the thing," and they're all
yeah.
telling him, "Oh, he did the thing. That's it. Just do the thing." Like
Dude,
people want to see the thing. They want to see Joe. They want to see a guy like Joe Hendry come out and turn around. They want to sing the song. They want to yeet with Jey Uso. They want to do the
yep,
thing. Like let the people do the thing. That's how people get over.
right. And it's just, and for me, what is funny is too is when you look at, like, I mean, we're filming this on the 17th. They were just in Brussels, Belgium, and
Yeah,
crowd literally singing Cody Rhodes' theme song, like,
that
doing
was
everything with him.
That was insane. No moves, no
No,
match,
nothing.
and they didn't do and it's just but that's what they've built. They've built, towards like that.
Yep,
They've been able like, guys like Cody been building himself up. Obviously, Cena speaks for himself,
yep,
but, like, that crowd was eating it up, and what did Cody say? Like, a paragraph maybe? Like, he didn't say much,
no,
and all they did was stare most of the time, they were just staring at each other, and, like, and then the crowd couldn't stop.
no,
Like that, like that's a wrestler's dream. I don't care what anyone says. The internet, you could disagree with it. That's a wrestler. A wrestler would rather do that, get that reaction, never taking a bump at all,
yep,
instead of going out there and killing yourself for 30 minutes and taking bumps and doing crazy things. And yeah, you'll get reactions, but now you're hurt. I mean, if instead you got that, and it's a beautiful thing. It really is.
100%. So I remember when I first met you, right? We were talking about sun never sets on a good guy,
I'm a cool guy.
on a cool guy,
Yeah.
yeah. And I know that we've gone through, like, this whole evolution process of, who Big Ben is. So I'm
Mhm.
just curious, like, how was the process of going through it, and how did you continue to grow and evolve? Like, your character.
What's funny, and this is for anybody like that's watching this and starting wrestling, and to bring up Orange Cassidy again. Uh, when I met him in 2019, it was at like a convention, and I was helping out Ellsworth at his table, and Cassidy was right next to us, and I asked him like how he came up with this, right? Because if people don't know, on the before that he was what, Fire Ant, was that it?
Fire and
Fire Ant, yeah, in Chikara, and that's how people started to know him. But then all of a sudden, a couple of years after that, he became Orange Cassidy. And he told me it's kind of just him, like turned up to 11. for any Spinal Tap fans. But it's him turned up to 11, and that's really. And I asked him, like, yeah, I'm trying to figure out what I'll be. He's like, dude, don't. And this is the thing that really resonated with me. He's like, don't rush it. He's like, it'll come to you. He's like, it's going to take trial and error. Because when you start, you want to be like, "Or who am I? What's my character? What's am I going to build?" But again, like you're going to go through 1 or 2 years, no one's really going to know or care, right? Like it's like not again. So you got to just and that's what I thought about. I kept always thought about what he said in the back of my mind of just it's going to take time. It's going to take time. Eventually, you'll find it. And it really hit me. But because in like middle of 2023, I was like, dude, I almost didn't want to do this anymore. Like I was really close to just saying, like, is this worth it? Like, is that I'm putting up with all this BS? Like, I don't want to do this anymore. And I remember like Sam Adonis reached out to me. People that don't know, he's been having an awesome career in AAA, wrestles all over. He reached out to me and just said like, yeah, man, like, you got something, dude. Like, it's just like you haven't like really figured it out yet. But this is like a too long didn't read, but this is basically what he said. It's like, you got something. You're so different. Like there's something there. And then started linking up with Nikki the Good, formerly at Barstool, and we started doing like the podcast together. And really, it wasn't for like to try to get big off a podcast. Like that wasn't our main, but we really want to just kind of find our voices. And with that, he said, like, start doing content. And so I just thought, like, yeah, I can be the big 7-foot, like, smiling guy on the indies, right? Like, and like, oh, maybe I'll get signed. I should get signed. I kept being like, why aren't I getting signed? I'm so big, this, that, and the other. And I was like, it's just not working. So I'm like, I got to just do something different. So, why not become a character that's almost a caricature of the indies, right? Like, kind of, and someone that just like kind of pokes fun at it. And then so I just was like, you know what? I'm going to go for it. And it can either get me a bunch of heat and I'll get blackballed, and hey, I didn't have to quit. So, or it'll work. So I'm like, I'm just going to put it out there. Let's see what happens. I was done giving any F's about it, dude. I was whatever, dude. Let's have fun. Let's try to make some type of like not like a totally new character, but just like a totally new kind of persona. Right. So still Big Trouble Ben Bishop, but like just changing it up a little bit, but new coat of paint, you can call it.
Right.
So just becoming someone who doesn't take himself too serious, someone like me, just kind of using my own comedic, like, creativeness to try to just like use that towards wrestling, where like, I'll do things that other people, like some people won't do. Like my shtick is me trying to get booked, part of my shtick, right? So like I'm okay to look shameless on the internet and a grifter and try to get booked that way. And I'm way ahead of all you. All you people listen, you all think I'm a grifter. I figured it out. I made it my character, and it works. So you think I'm a grifter. I am levels above you. Especially when the IWC. I am thinking levels above you. I am 3, 4, 5 moves ahead of you at all times. So yeah. So I was just like, let me use because I always made those jokes with people about like, the crappy promoters and the guys who take themselves too serious, the shoot fighter guys. Like I've always made those jokes. So I'm like, why not just do it? You know what? So I did it, and I'm like, let's have fun with it and get it. And that's what got me a lot of opportunities. It got me on the WWE 2K24 commercial because they found me from my reels and continually posting. It got me the opportunity. It got me booked a ton of places that I normally wouldn't, that never answered my emails. Places like Beyond, places like CCW, where I just worked this past weekend. They weren't getting back to me. I don't blame them, because what am I bringing to the table, really? Right. I felt like I wasn't bringing much besides my size, but there's a few big guys they can use. So, and then it got me obviously AEW as well, having that opportunity. So the people that just kind of say like, oh, you're just a TikToker, you're just and you know what the funniest thing is, Cliff? I have the least amount of followers on TikTok than all my platforms. So I'm not. I can't figure that damn algorithm out. No, I can't. It is so brutal. Like I'll like look at, like, I'll have a video on Instagram, do like 50K views. I look at TikTok and it's like 78, and I'm like, what is going on?
I feel the same way. I think I average like maybe 100 to 200 views
Oh,
on my
dude.
videos, and then like I'll look at like IG and like Twitter, and I'll have something like on a video, I'll probably have like 300 or 400 views. I'm like, yo, how am I
Yeah.
not cracking like more views? Like,
No, dude, it is it's unbelievable. So no, I'm not I'm technically not a TikToker. It's now you're miscasting me.
yeah,
No. You can call me a reeler or an IG or I don't know, a grammar. I don't know. But not or you can call me a Twitterer or Xer, I don't know. But you can't call me a TikToker. Not good at TikTok.
not good at TikTok. This TikTok thing doesn't work out for me.
Like that doesn't work. I don't get it. I've had one video do over 100K. One. And it's just like that doesn't it sounds like a good amount, but then everything else is like 500 at the most, you know?
Right.
So I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't understand it either, and I'm still trying to figure that out too. And I keep like looking through. I keep doing the research, trying to figure it out. I'm like, bro, it's not. I'm
Now,
not.
that's the other thing, or anybody doing social media. Too many people try to become like the big social media wizards, like and if you look at a lot of their content, it's not quality content. Like some of the people that have a ton of like way too many like followers than you would think. It's like just the most clicky baitiest content, and it like it whatever. Again, if it works for you, it works for you. I don't care. But everyone tries to sell like services of like, oh, I'll teach you how to grow your following. It's like Instagram changes their shit all the time.
Yeah,
Just what just build an organic following. Like, I'd rather have like I'm at right now on Instagram, let's say 17,800, right? But I'd rather have people like commenting, engaging with me than if I had like 75K followers, but like no engagement, which some
right.
people have. Like I've seen people with over triple digit, with 6-figure following, and then I look at their reels and I get more views, because they don't have engage because they're not engaging with people and people. It's not like genuine content.
Right.
That's the thing. It doesn't come across. So yeah, all that I do the research sometimes too, and I'm like, but then I think to myself, I'm like, just keep doing it. Like the old adage, like cream rises to the top, right? It'll
Right.
eventually get there if people want to see it.
Yeah, and then I get lazy too. I ain't gonna front. Like there'll be days where I just don't post anything, and I'm like, yeah, I probably should at least post a picture or something.
Well, like
Keep myself
speaking of things like that with social media, it is, the algorithm, that is one thing. It does like consistency. So if you
yeah,
post and then you don't post, then you post, and it doesn't like that.
yeah,
So, and one of the things that's, happening now is a lot of people have said to me, through the year, like through these last few years about like, oh, do you think you post too much? Or like, you think like you're on Twitter a little too much, which honestly I probably am, but yikes, it's like too much. I'm chronically online now. It's my gimmick, which sucks. But like they're like, you engage with the fans too much. Or like, people have said that to me, and I'm just like, I don't think that there's anything wrong with that. Like, I'm just being my genuine self. Like, it's okay to engage with fans.
yeah,
And because I think that's important. I think that's important. And it is important to post. Like, so here's the example I'm getting to is that Cardona, putting together potentially whatever the Indie Mania, right? Like, we'll see
right.
if it happens. But like, I think he's serious. I don't think he'd be just posting about it just to post about it. I think he's genuinely thinking about doing it. And he said the other day, he's like, "Oh, my DMs are flooded with people asking to be on Indie Mania." He's like, and then I go look at their social media, haven't tweeted in 6 days. He's
Yeah,
like, "All right, see ya." He's like, "Nope," he's like, because what he's serious about. He's not going to put people on his show that he's a social media guy that aren't taking social media serious. Like, because he knows that that's how you get on the indies nowadays. Like, forget it, dude. Like,
yeah,
it's not tape trading anymore. It's people wanting to genuinely follow you because you either come across genuine or you're just posting engaging content.
right,
Like, how are you going to be seen anywhere else? Like, these 400 people maybe that go to a show, that's a good show. That's a really good show, 400, but on average, maybe 200 people come into a show. Like, that's not enough for you to gain traction. Like, people, like,
right,
and maybe in that crowd, remember, like, right, like, I think the total population of Twitter or people on Twitter and the total population of the world is like 7%.
right,
So, like, you have 200 people at that show. Like, what is that? The quick math there. I mean, maybe 10 of them, 10,
maybe,
15 of them are on Twitter. And then how many are active?
right,
So maybe 5 are active, and then they might be cool enough to be like, "Hey, Ben Bishop's really good." And I can retweet it and maybe 10 people like it, you
Yeah.
know? And it's like, but then what does that do? You know, so nothing. So it's like you gotta utilize it. You gotta utilize it. You gotta just keep being consistent, keep posting because you just keep staying on people's minds. And maybe you'll lose some followers here. There are days that you're gonna, you know, be in the negative, and it's just gonna happen. It's gonna happen. Some people don't want to follow you, but you're gonna keep. I'm telling you, you just keep building. You keep building. Eventually, more people are gonna follow you once they kind of see what you're doing and figuring it out.
Yeah, I think that's one part that I gotta figure out too, is, like, just keep posting clips up of, like, matches and stuff like that, and just, like,
Yeah.
I gotta get back to doing Red Dog Style today. I know
Yeah, see, that's that. Yeah, that's original as shit, dude. Yeah, when you're
a lot
doing
of
that.
people have hit me up and was like, "Yo, when you gonna bring back Red Dog Style today?" And I'm like,
Yeah,
"Yeah, I need to start doing that again." And it was just I got a new job, and so when I got my when
yeah,
I shouldn't say I got a new job. I got a promotion at my job,
yeah.
and it started sucking up all the time that I had, so I was
Oh, yeah, you gotta take care. You gotta take care of what you gotta take care of
yeah.
first, you know. But yeah, it's good because it's stuff that you know you can do pretty quick. You know who's really good at the engagement, the social media stuff is um, Cheap Wrestler. Have you seen him?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. He's awesome. He's awesome, and it's like he's found something. He found like his thing that he says, and it gets him engagement. And the way he says it, I'm telling you, there's something to that too. You know, he can't. He's not just looking in the camera asking the question. He says it in a way of like people want to watch him say it.
Mhm.
Which I always say that's what gets that. That's what made the Costco guys. You know, it's having that like unspoken charisma that
Yeah.
that you have. So that's something too. Is that like a lot of is like doing it in a way that people want to continue to watch you say it. Not exactly what you're saying. They want to see you say it.
It wants to yeah, I know, I feel that too. It's funny because like, I think about a lot of stuff too that we're putting out, especially for, like, the podcast and things like that. Because I always feel like I'll be fair with y'all, okay? I know you guys watch this. I feel like I'm just hawking merch, and I'm like, I'm not hawking merch, like, yo, I want you guys to see the podcast because genuinely, this show, like, is a it's literally a college course of, like, wrestling, and you
Mhm.
get to check out different people come talk to you about it and stuff like that, and I think about that stuff, and we cut clips all the time, and we're posting constantly, so I know it'll catch fire at some point. You know, we've been doing this for 4 years now, so if you guys
Mhm.
didn't know that, literally the first episode's released. It's the first episode.
Probably
Uh,
wearing the same shirt. I don't know. Maybe. Am I? Am I?
you know what?
I might be.
You know what? I think so. No, you're in a green one. You're in a green one.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say that'd be funny if it was
Yeah,
this one.
but I do.
Uh,
You know what's funny is I do have your first shirt still. Like I have. It's
oh,
actually
I love
still
that.
in my. It's in my drawer actually
This
right
is
over
the
there.
only first like shirt I have of my first ones. Dude, I lose so many shirts at shows now. Like ones I wear out to the ring. You take it off. I thought someone would grab it. Somebody else grabbed it. Gone. Like it's happened. So this is my only original one. So hopefully I never lose this one.
I had someone actually the other day at my work stop me and they're like, "What is Meat Pop Express?" And I was like, "Oh, yeah," because I was wearing your hat, and I was like, "Oh yeah, 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 I remember this." It was
You
like,
know,
yeah,
actually, you know what I do now is like when people say describe your character, I put it into Chat GPT. And
I
dude, it describes me so much better than I could describe myself. I'm like, this is perfect.
100%.
I
I know
love it.
it's funny because like Sicken has a new promotion started. If you guys didn't know, there's a new promotion getting started. Riot Maker Pro Wrestling, and he asked me to give a description of what Red Dog was, and I told him I was like, "Yo, I put it in Chat GPT, send it back to him." He's like, "Yo, this is really good." I was like, "I know." It's like,
Yeah.
but I put so much information into, and I think that's the other thing too. Is like when you go to create your character, like you have to put in information. You have to build the whole world up around your character.
Mhm.
And so for me, like I was thinking about, yo, I'd like to put some more seriousness into Red Dog, but then also like still kind of want to keep his like quirky personality because that's just me naturally, just
Yeah.
randomly.
Yeah.
So I was like, yo, I want to involve this, but I still want to like kind of turn it a little bit more darker. And so the Chat GPT like started spitting up all this stuff, and I was like, this is great. And then when someone asked me, they're like, "Can you give me a description?" I was like, "Yep, here you go." And then just
Mhm.
flooded it in. And he was like, "Yo, this is good." I was like, "I know, it's
Yeah.
great."
And it also it takes everything too, dude. Like it takes stuff from all over the internet. So like any article that's been written about you, any podcast you've done, like they'll do the transcript, like everything. It will just kind of put it all in a succinct little.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then one day we're going to be taken over by robots. Hopefully, we're gone by that point. Just it's going to happen.
I mean, you know what? With pro wrestling and the military and life, yeah, I'll probably go pretty soon.
Yeah, dude, yeah, right. This stuff takes some weeks and months off of you.
Yeah, and it's quick too. It's quick, and you never notice it. Like randomly, I'll be looking in my beard. I'm like, oh, I got a white hair in here. All right, well, let me just
Oh,
get.
dude, yeah, I feel you there. I feel you, man. I mean, at least I still got a good amount of hair, but I feel like in 5 years that'll start to thin out too. But
Yeah, I'm like, you know what? I'm still rocking out a pretty nice little
you
face.
gotta,
So
yeah.
I'm all right.
We're guys. We keep ourselves in shape. We keep,
Yeah,
we're not, it's not, not like we're, some, man. See, some people I see that are like 30 because I just turned 35.
yeah.
And how old are you now, Cliff?
I'm turning 40 in September.
I'm amazing, but you don't look it, right? So it's and the same thing people will say to me. They're like, "Yeah, you don't look like you're 35," um, especially if I clean shave like totally, right?
Yeah, if I do.
But I see some people, dude. It's just like it's sad. It's like 35, 40. It's like you look at it, like you like 50.
Yeah,
I see a lot of people like that. Thankfully, not again. Knock on wood. Hopefully, we're good. Hopefully, we're good for at least a little bit longer.
yeah. No, I get tripped out when I see people who are like, "Yeah, man, I'm 33 years old." And I'm like,
Yeah,
"How? You
yeah,
don't
yeah.
look."
Yeah, like you almost want to be like, oh.
I was like, "You and a cheese grater got into a fight, my guy." I don't wanna be rude, but that's just the common truth.
Yeah.
And it well, because like, when you met me too, like, when you met me, like, I was 35 when you met me, actually,
Yeah.
enough, and I had just lost, like, probably close to 60 pounds.
Yeah, I remember that because I remember you showed a picture of, like, you before like, months
Yeah.
before, and you were, like, really heavy.
Yep, and then I came in I actually put on some weight after someone told me that I looked like I had cancer.
Oh,
And so
jeez.
I yeah, that's exactly the comment I got. That was like,
Wow.
"Oh, I don't wanna do that." So I added on a bunch of weight. Like, I had to started building up muscle again, and then I started training like that like, a couple of years later, I started training, which was crazy to me. But,
Mhm.
no, and then, like, even now, like, I think I take it, like, so seriously now, like, recovery and nutrition and, like,
You have to.
work yeah, especially the older you get, like, you have to think about those things.
You have to. You have to. I know it's like sometimes I still wanna, like, go and, like, ego lift. Like, last week, like, I was going to squat, and I felt it in my back, and I'm like, "No." Like, no. I mean, I'm like, but before, like, years before, I probably would've just been like, "Nope, just get through it, just get through it." Just I'm like, "Why would I?"
Yeah.
I'm like, "I'm done. I'm not squatting today. Another day. I'm not doing it today."
I I couldn't front like I'm still here and I'm like, "You know what? I'm gonna be 40 and a half next year, so by the time I turn 40 and a half, I wanna bench press 405, and then that's it. I'm done."
Well, if you wanna get to that, yeah, yeah.
That's the
I
goal.
Mine is my PR there is 420, so I'm good. I don't I'll never do it again, and I'm fine never doing it again.
Yeah, 3 I put up 315 a while ago and, like, a couple weeks back, and I'm like, "Alright, yeah, we there. We're just gonna
Get
slowly
the
climb the
3,
ladder,
yeah,
and then
get
once
the
I
3.
tap it, like, that's it. We gone."
Yeah, dude, 4 plates is it's something everyone should strive for. I think it's a
Yeah.
cool accomplishment. You're in the top. If you've ever been able to bench 4 plates, that's like top percentage of people in the world.
Yeah,
Top.
I think they said, I think when they said I forget, it was like some random ass TikTok video I saw, and somebody was talking about like if you put up 4 plates, it's like I feel like it said there's only like 750 people that could do it in the world.
Isn't
I
that
was
crazy?
I was
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, and I'm gonna be one."
Yeah, dude, it's a hell of an accomplishment. Hell yeah. That's a road to 4 plates.
Yo,
Road to
that's the goal, and
There's your vlog. There's your vlog.
that's it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I should. You know what's funny? I tell myself that too. I look at my camera, I look at my phone, I'd be like, "Yeah, I should record this," and I'm like, "Ah, nah, I'm just gonna wait."
No,
And then I'm like, and then I don't do it. So
even
it
if you
was
make, like, funny commentary around it and, like, make it almost like a documentary of,
yep.
every day just filming something of you, like, preparing, and it just be something so simple, or, like, talking talking to your family about benching 4 plates and then just not, like, caring, like, it's just, like, how it's, like, literally just, like, the biggest thing for you to get to that point and the ups and downs of it, if you make a whole series on it, where it's, like it's just, like, your times you're not believing in yourself, and you're believing and it's kinda silly at the same time because it's
Yeah,
just benching 4 plates, like,
just like different plays, yeah.
but
I
it's just, but I think it's just so that could be funny, I don't know, I think that's great.
yeah, no, I think that'd be fucking hilarious if they
Yeah,
added in and just like and then the guy in the background, like, I would probably look for, like I think there's a so whatever, CapCut uses, like
yeah,
they have the, storyteller that you could do,
yeah,
like, text to speech, and it's a British dude reading it to you, And that's
Okay.
exactly how I want it to be like, "Oh,
Yeah.
look at
Make
our
it
guy here as he's trying to lift up 3 plates."
see, I think that's
That's
and then you,
happening.
like, have, like, talking head segments where, like, you're like, it's
Yes, you cut away and you come back.
yeah.
What was it? The challenge. Like, the challenge when he
Yeah, exactly,
and they're
yeah.
like,
But
"Man,
people
when I was sitting there,
but
I was thinking
people
to myself, I don't think I'm gonna be able to get this up."
but the funniest thing too is them, like, being like people some of the people being like, "I don't know why he cares so much." Like, just like they don't get it,
Yes.
Like, I think that'd be hysterical. See, that's how my mind works. Now
It's
that's how it
funny.
works. Like, you just guys all watched the creative process right there.
Right. Well, like, I did a video where, I did a video for SCWA, this was, like, years ago, where they had me, like it was supposed to be a six-pack challenge, right? And
Oh, our
I
favorite
was
matches, everyone loves those.
right, and so I'm thinking to myself, like, "Yo, how can I make this hilarious, this promo funny?" So and, it's when Red Dog was, like, going through, like, the comedic side of things to try
Yeah.
to loosen up, and I remember grabbing, like, a whole bunch of my daughter's stuffed animals and throw them into a box, and, like, I drew the box out, and it looked like a wrestling ring, and it said SCWA on it and everything, and I'm playing with these dolls and just, like, throwing them out, and then Red Dog, the little Clifford Big Red Dog doll wins. And I remember, like, playing, and I saw, like, a shadow, and I just kept ignoring it, and then as I win, I like, "Yeah, and he wins." And I stopped, and I looked behind me, and my wife was just looking in the window, just looking at me, trying to figure out what I was doing, and I was like, "Yeah, but all this is gonna make sense when I put it
See?
together." And
See?
she was like, "No, it won't."
Oh, that's so good. That's so good.
I
If you look
really
at
wish that I would have, like, recorded that moment when you
that's the thing that's the thing that works, right? Is because, like, people see you being like, "Okay, I'm comfortable to be the butt of the joke." And, like, a lot of people don't wanna do that in wrestling,
yeah,
which I think gets a lot of people being like, "You don't feel human enough." And what's worked for me is, like, stuff like that, or, like, I come across more human, where I'm like, yeah, I'm doing the things that people would love to do, but it's like, "Oh, okay, yeah, he's big because people already I guess I could say it's like 2 when a big guy, there's 2 spectrums, right? Like, there's
right,
2 opposite sides of the spectrum, where it's like, you're either gonna really like me because 'cause you're like, "Oh, wow, look at this guy," or you're not gonna like me because you're jealous. Yeah,
right.
because I'm taller, all this stuff. And that's how kinda society is, especially with big people, right? So, I already stand out. I'm already much different than a lot of people, but now I'm coming across human. So now, this is how I figured it out, is like, I'll get the people that like me because I'm big, but now I'll get the people that like me because I'm human.
Right.
So now they see this big guy being human, being normal. They're like, well, okay, now we're gonna get how you build a following.
No, I remember because like, one of the videos that you did was with your wife, and, I think it was the AEW match with Roddy,
Mhm.
and, she was
That's
like,
my
"That's
favorite
it?"
one.
She's like,
Yeah.
"That's it? That was
Yeah.
that was the whole match?" And you're like, "Well, there's more to." They cut a lot of it out.
Yeah, yeah, just flying through my teeth, yeah.
I was like, "Damn." Like,
And then like, I'm going to live with my parents. Your bag was packed? Oh, yeah, why'd you have a bag? Why was your bag packed?
"But it's already packed. Like, what are we doing? Like, where are we going?"
And
Like,
then,
yeah.
like, the funniest thing, she ad-libbed that line, and because, like, really, it was all we only did it in one take, and I only told her the one line to say is, like, "I'm going to stay with my parents with the bag," and she ad-libbed, "I live with a loser," and I actually broke at the end of the at the end of the what?
That's aw it
Like,
was funny because, like, so the company that I'm working for right now, they asked me to do a takeover because obviously, they asked for your bio, and they wanna know what you doing,
yeah,
what you plan, and I had talked about it, and, like, I don't include the family and, like, stuff because I'm just like, I kinda wanna keep it personal, but I did with this takeover just one time, and the amount of people that came to me and was like, "Bruh, like, your family's so cool. You're like, we love the fact that you love to play with your dog and you were
mhm.
showcasing that." And I was like, "Damn, like, all right, then I guess I guess we have something that we can do here." Because
Look
like
at yeah, dude, like, look at all these people that just stream and stuff and do regular things. It's like, I guess people like to watch people do regular things. Like, I don't know, I guess.
I mean, like the first video I dropped on their thing was me like waking up, grabbing my phone, and I was like, "Hey, I'm Cliff. I'm doing a takeover today for Fit Factory, and yeah, this is my dog. I'm gonna go back to bed." And like I'm just cuddled up with my dog, and I put the phone away. I was like,
Oh,
"Just
yeah.
hit the skip button, get to the next video. You can see what we're doing."
Yeah, just saved by people like that. They
Yeah,
like stuff like that instead of, For also using dogs in any social media is a cheat code too. So
Yeah.
that's I don't get likes. But that's the thing, like being different like that. People they now more than ever, because I've really thought about this about like, you know how like there's just different nowadays, it feels like there's way more celebrities than we even know exist, right?
Mm.
There's like people that like these online personas and these guys like the Kai Cenats and the I Show Speeds of the world.
Right.
Like there are people like they're technically two of the most famous people on the planet, but there's people that don't know who they are at all, like have no idea. And it's because of nowadays people want to be are obviously connected more than ever, and you don't need a big label to push your stuff. So what I mean is, like for music, for example, you don't need to be signed to a label to get big in
Right.
music anymore. For move you're and people have now, since they have phones and other access of entertainment, they don't just have TV with 20 stations anymore where you're only going to be a star if you're on TV,
Right.
or you're only going to be a star if you're in the movies. That's the only place anybody will ever see a celebrity, are those places. But now with things like X and things like Instagram and all this stuff, there could be anybody could be a celebrity, but also what comes with it is people want to connect with people who have a sort of status, and because they want to be brought in, and we see it in wrestling so
Yeah.
much. We see it that like everybody wants to know what's going on backstage. Everybody kind of, and you see WWE slowly leaning into that because that's what people want. That's just like we're at the point now where people kind of want to be involved with things.
Right.
That's why on social media you get them involved. You become more them they can resonate with you. They're able to resonate with you, and understand like, oh, the people always say like, oh, celebrities, they're just like us. It's like, but because people want to see that. They want
Right.
to see that you're really just like them at the end of the day, and that's kind of what I want to come across with this like new Big Trouble persona. Is like, I'm just Ben. I say that all the time. I'm just Ben. Nothing's changed. Like, I'm just being myself. A little turned up to, but really not much turned up to 11, maybe like 10 and a half. I'll say that. Ben turned up to 10 and a half. Whatever, it's really just me. And I just me being a goofy self and not worrying about what people think. Again, that's the number other thing. Don't worry about what people think. I know that's like kind of cliche to say, but it really doesn't, it shouldn't matter. Just like be you, have fun. And if you're being yourself and you're being genuine, people are going to realize that. Their subconscious is going to turn on and realize that.
Yeah.
And telling you, it's a tried and true method. Like not everyone can be Kane and Taker, you know. You can't always do that. You can't always play like the character that's much different than your real person, your in real life.
Right.
So that's a totally different thing. But like, if you're just turning yourself up to 11, people resonate with that. They feel that you're genuine. You're genuinely connecting with them. That's going to want them to keep watching.
It's funny too. I think about that a lot, especially like yeah, a lot of people ask me, they're like, who's Red Dog? I'm like, yo, that is just me. Like
Oh,
my first name is Clifford, and my
yeah.
that's how I got the name. That
Yep.
just runs with me everywhere I go. Like it's just a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I do find like when I do videos and stuff like that or do like content because it was something. So actually, this will go to like the character kind of side of things too, because like as I said, Red Dog wants to, I wanted to keep like his quirkiness, which is just me, and it's like his whatever you want to call it, lame humor. I don't care. It's my humor.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
but like I, I wanted to
Lame,
put
lame
myself
humor is the
there.
type of humor that people like. It's not
Yeah,
a dad jokes.
I
People
love
love
that.
them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so what I wanted to do was like I started making like we called it like Chaz and I refer to it as the multiverse of Red Dog, where it's like
Mhm.
there's like this serious Red Dog, there's like the overly goofy Red Dog, and then
Mhm.
he has his favorite version, which is called West Coast Red Dog, and then like there's like all sorts of different like Red Dogs. And I was talking to Bo Douglas about it up here in New England, and he was
Mhm.
like, "Well, that's great." He's like, "You have all these different versions." He's like, "But what you're getting to finding out is that you'll have Red Dog Prime, and
Mm.
that's you, and that's the version that people will find their favorite because
Mhm.
it's literally all the fun things that you have about you." And I was like, "That's crazy." I was like, "I should start like." To like just leaning into this like heavy more because people like people who are genuine. I feel like
Yeah.
I was in a show in Rhode Island, and I made my debut there. Actually, it was like a couple weeks ago, and this kid was just talking mad shit, man. When I tell you, he was telling me, he's like, "Yo, you're fat. You need to hit the gym. You got to do this. You got to do that."
Sounds like a Rhode Islander. Keep going.
Right. So as I pick up this other dude. I hit him for a spine buster, and right before I go to hit him with a spine buster, I hold him in the air, and I look at the kid, and I was like, "Go to the gym," and I slam him in the ground, right? And so at intermission, this little kid walks up to me, and he goes, "I guess you're cool." I was like, "Nah, nah, nah. You was big talking when you was behind the guardrail. Now you have to see me, and I'm not in behind my table. What's up now?" And he was like, "Nah, man, you're great. I like you." And I was like, "Word." I was like, "It's a
Well,
weird thing, right?"
isn't that funny? Isn't that funny? That's the internet in a nutshell, too, isn't it?
Yeah.
Uh, I'll tell you right now what I'm going to do, and I'm going to do this at Squared Circle Expo. Me and Jack Vaughn, we're gonna fight each other in the ring, right? But I'm telling you right now, folks, if you're a troll on the internet that sees this, anybody, we are going to have a sign. We are giving you this opportunity. We are going to give you the opportunity to do this for only $1. He might want to do more, but this is how bad I want. For $1, you can come to our table and you can tell us off for 30 seconds. Just tell us off, and we can't say a word back to you. You can say whatever you want to us, and if you, all the tough guys on Twitter and social media that talk the most shit, come on, $1 for $1, you can tell us off for 30 seconds, and we get to say nothing back, and you'll get the opportunity to say whatever you want in front of anybody you want. Go right ahead. I'm giving everyone that opportunity. I'm telling you, it's happening at Squared Circle Expo in Indianapolis, April 26th.
That's so great. That's a great idea. That's so good.
The only ideas I have, Cliff, and really.
I like it. Oh shit. Well, hey, let me drop this over to one of my favorite parts of the 3 Count podcast. We do the 10 count questions on Now Entering, but on Now Entering 201, we do pin, submit, and DQ, which
I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is what it is.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm gonna pick 3 random subjects, but it could be a lot like it could
Say what is it? It's like what DQ?
pin, submit, or DQ.
Okay, I got it.
You don't have to have a reason. Like you don't have to be like, well, I would pin this person because X, Y, Z. You can if you want to, but you don't have to. But anyway, so we'll play 3 rounds. So the first round is gonna be Andre the Giant, The Big Show, and Big Cass.
Oh, wow. Okay. So I would have to say pin, submit, DQ is funny because I don't know which one's really the good one. I guess I'll I'll submit the Big Show. Am I getting DQ'd or is the other person getting DQ'd?
Other person get DQ'd.
Other person's getting DQ'd.
Yeah.
Okay. I respect Andre, so I'll let him. Oh, he's getting DQ'd. That's not respect then. Okay. I'm gonna just pin Cass and DQ Andre then.
Okay.
I think Cass gets the least amount of embarrassment. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's go with let's see. I'm trying to think of a Giant Man, Adam, let's go with Geronimo.
Giant Man, Adam, and Geronimo. Who I don't know who this is.
So those are 3 tall guys from comic book world.
Oh, I thought so. Okay.
Yeah.
Adam? Like not Prince Adam.
No, like have you ever watched the show Legends of Tomorrow?
Oh, Adam. A-T-O-M.
Yeah.
Adam. Okay. God, Cliff, you're such a nerd.
Fuck you.
Pin the first guy, submit the second guy, DQ the third guy. Adam, you know what? Adam gets pinned. Adam gets a little guy. I already hate Adam. I'm pissed. He gets bigger and smaller, right?
Right, he does. That's what I
yes, fuck him, dude.
Because it's just like Ant-Man. Ant-Man is the same person, but Ant-Man can also grow to be giant.
Ant-Man's Marvel, isn't Adam
yeah,
DC?
Exactly.
Who's the first one?
Giant Man, which is Ant-Man, but in giant form.
And Geronimo was in the Justice League. I remember Geronimo. Yeah. When Justice League was real big.
Yeah.
And there was like 1 million guys in Justice League for some reason.
Right.
No one knew the
Unlimited.
There were some bad ones, dude. There were some bad ones.
Yeah, there's a lot of bad superheroes. That's right. But you know what? To be fair, I also kind of like the fact that DC is going in a new direction, and Gunn is actually like leading it, because a lot of these bad superheroes that people don't remember are going to get brought back. And then you're going to start being like, oh, I kind of like that guy. Because I remember Guardians of the Galaxy, my friends and I were all like, yeah, I mean, the comic book series is okay, but I don't know if I do a
Yeah.
movie. And then the movie came out, we're like, I fucking love the Guardians, bro.
Oh, dude, yeah, no, it's all because of who's in it. Again,
Yeah,
it's also the writing. It doesn't have to do with the concept. Like
right.
that's why, like, if there were other actors doing the Avengers, it wouldn't be as popular. It was because of it's really because of Robert Downey
Yeah.
Jr. and the cast. Dude, these characters are horrible. Like, who's Ares, dude? Like, look at this, like Trickster,
Trickster. Yep.
Mazo. Like that. This isn't even creative. This sucks. This sucked. This was a bad time. Crimson Fox. I think
There's
Toyman was a
somebody
bad.
out there. And there's
Toy
somebody out there who's gonna be pissed off to be like, "He's
Oh,
so
well, actually, Crimson Fox is a great superhero, if you remember
he's a great superhero."
in the 5th edition of the Cabinet of Cat. Oh, yeah, I know.
Him. Superman needed him one time to like bail him out of a situation.
Well, if you remember the series, the second series of the Doctor Fate comic book theory, the Crimson Fox actually. Yeah, I know. Someone's not going to like that. This
No.
sucks. Justice League Unlimited sucked. It sucked.
Let's go with our last three. Right, it's gonna be Bebop, Rocksteady, and
Oh
Leatherhead.
my God! Thank you. Here we go. Now we're back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's Submit Leatherhead. Bebop and Rocksteady are my guys, so I don't want to embarrass either of them. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Pin Bebop and DQ Rocksteady.
I like it.
Bebop was the pig, right?
Yes,
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Okay, I got to mix that. Ryan Rocksteady was the Rhino.
he's a rhino.
Yeah, badass dude.
Or my
Not,
favorite.
but you know what? Not the best bullies in a kid in a
In a kid's
television
show.
series.
No.
And I met these two, Bulk and Skull.
Bulk and Skull.
Bulk and Skull. Now, the Bulk and Skull were really my guy. I mean, Bebop and Rocksteady are number 2 to Bulk and Skull.
But the thing is like, and it was funny because like I had just, I don't know why, but randomly there was like an episode of Power Rangers, and it was like the newer series that I haven't been paying attention to, and Bulk and Skull were still on the show, and I was like,
Were they?
yeah, and they were just like, I think they were like parents.
Oh my God!
I was like,
I
this
met
is
them. I met them.
crazy.
We got beers with them. Bulk is one of the more vulgar human beings I've ever met.
I mean, you have to be at that
Oh,
point.
he was like screaming stuff, and we're like in a restaurant. We're like, "Are you good?" Like,
I don't remember like who. Well, that's like Bob Saget. Like everybody assumed like Bob Saget was like this.
Yeah, Bob Saget was
Yeah.
not. Yeah.
And he was not that clean, dude. He was like,
Oh no, he was filthy. Yeah.
yeah. One of my favorite lines from him too was when he's like, when I got done with Full House and America's Funniest Videos, I developed Tourette's, and that's why I curse all the fucking time.
Yeah, dude. I mean, it's just so funny. It's so funny that people don't realize. I think on Entourage they depicted Bob Saget much more realistic than they did on Full House.
100%.
If you remember the Bob Saget on Entourage.
I do.
Yeah. Rest in peace. Love Bob Saget.
Love Bob Saget. Yo, so those are all my stuff, man. I appreciate you coming back on the show.
Of course, man, that was fun.
The last thing I need you to do is let our listeners and our viewers know where they can find you.
Yeah, guys, I'm not hard to find on the internet for sure. Again, I am unfortunately chronically online, and I've made that a character, so it sucks. Guess the goods and the bad with that shit. No, but at Big Trouble BB is where you can see me everywhere. I'm most active on Instagram and X, and also I'm on TikTok. I'm on Facebook. I'm all over again, unfortunately. But I don't know when this is coming out. Probably in a few weeks. I'm not sure. Today is March the 17th, 2025. But yes, you probably see it after. I hope I had a great match with Nick Nemeth, which is happening on March 21st. I hope that went great when this comes out.
It did go great.
Hopefully it did. Yeah, spoiler, it went great. No, but yeah, guys, you can find me everywhere. I post daily. I interact. I engage with people. Please don't hesitate if you want to say something or you want to DM something. You can do that too. Probably just open the floodgates. But I just please feel free to reach out. I love interacting with people. Again, at the end of the day, I'm just Ben. That's all I am. All I'll ever be. All I will ever be. So what you see is what you get. And yeah, I think what I'm trying to do here is make pro wrestling bearable. No, I mean, but make pro wrestling space on the internet at least more fun. Because unfortunately, it's not. And because of people that like to bring everyone down. Remember, there's a lot less of them than there are of us. So let's keep it positive.
Yeah. So gave you all of his handles. He told you where you can find him. He even told you that he had his match with Nick Nemeth. That's right, also known as Dolph Ziggler. So if you guys didn't know, go check it out. Anyway, he opened up his DMs to you. He told you everything about it. So, go follow, go share, go like, go comment, everything that needs to be done. But like every great part of a wrestling match, we got to take this home. Because this is the 3 Count Presents Now Entering 201. And I'm your host, Clifford Red Dog Miller, the man that leads you up that mountain called wrestling. And like every good Sherpa, it's never about me. It's about who's entering the ring. So who's entering the ring? You see the man right there. Big Ben right there, right? Or you can just go to Big Trouble Ben Bishop. You could do that too. Or you can just do what I do and I just call him Big Ben because he is Big Ben. Technically, it's true.
Actually,
all right.
Yeah. It's not just a gimmick.
No. So you guys know what to do. Tune into the next episode and be there, or you're legitimately following us on all of our social media platforms. You're subscribed to our YouTube channel. You're even following us on Spotify. You're listening to us on Amazon Music. You're even listening to us that dumb app with the stupid jingle that goes iHeartRadio or whatever it is. You're buying our merch on ProWrestlingTees.com, or you're even checking out our merch on ForYouWear.com. You're telling your mom about us, your dad about us, your aunties, your uncles, your brothers, your best friends, your cousins, your sisters, your brothers, all those people, and even your enemies, because we love haters too. Doing all that stuff, but really you're just kind of waiting for this episode to end. You're waiting for that outro, and then you're choosing another episode to listen to. Kawaii.
Wow.
What's up? It is your friendly neighborhood Red Dog, and thank you for checking out this episode of the 3 Count Podcast. Whether that was Chaz friends, Red Dog friends, Damien friends, the Film Styles, now into the ring, now entering 201, or now returning to the ring, all those good episodes. You should really be liking, commenting, and even sharing this with your friends, family, whoever it may be. But what you all should be doing is checking us out on all of our social media platforms at 3 Count Pod, whether that's on IG, Twitch, you can check us out on Threads, whatever it may be. And if you go check us out on X, it is 3count_pod. Check us out on YouTube, as well as Facebook, on Rumble, on Apple Music, on Spotify, all those fun things. Tell your mom about us, your dad about us, your aunties, your uncles, your brothers, your sisters, your cousins, and your best friends and your enemies, because we love haters too. Do all that stuff. And then, last but not least, buy our merch on ForYouWear.com or ProWrestlingTees.com. Kawaii.